Good morning students and welcome to online teaching session of Academic World School Bimitra. In the last class we discussed about natural rubber and its physical properties. Once let me remind the physical properties of natural rubber. At high temperature natural rubber becomes soft. At low temperature it becomes brittle. That means if we use that natural rubber it becomes pieces. And the other physical property is it has water absorption property. Because of these three properties natural rubber cannot be used. In order to make the natural rubber hard at high temperature and to make it lose its brittle nature at low temperature and to make it not to absorb water. That natural rubber is required to undergo vulcanization. So today's first topic is vulcanization. Let us see what is meant by vulcanization and how is rubber made vulcanization. First let us see its preparation and then properties. First let us see the preparation of vulcanized rubber. The rubber which is subjected to vulcanization is raw rubber and it is made up of 2-methyl-1,3-butadiene. Let us see its structure. This is the rubber. This is the main material of the rubber. It is 2-methyl-1,3-butadiene. This is one of the important material, or we can say raw rubber. And this is treated with sulfur. By adding a suitable additive. Additive means a substance which is going to give the characteristic property to the polymer or the finished product formed at the end. Or additive is a substance which is going to give a very good durability to the product. Or additive can be a substance which is going to give a very good look to the final product. Now these three are added and then heated to 343 Kelvin temperature to 415 Kelvin temperature. As a result, we will get vulcanized rubber. Now let us see the structure of vulcanized rubber. That is nothing but the product. This is 2-methyl-1,3-butadiene. When we add sulfur and heat, what happens is sulfur becomes the cross-linking substance. Before going to get that cross-link, this 2-methyl-1,3-butadiene, I will show it upside down in this way. To get the structure of vulcanized rubber. Sulfur is going to act as cross-linking substance. Therefore, in between these two carbon atoms, I will show sulfur and I will join. Next to two carbon atoms, here, I will show again sulfur and I will join both the carbon atoms in this way. Now, recall the valency of carbon. Carbon is tetravalent. Now, valency of this carbon has become 2 to 4. Now, what I am going to do is, I will remove one bond and I will keep that bond here. Right. Next, here also, this carbon valence 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 has become. So I will remove one bond and that bond I will keep after methylene group. Now valency of each carbon atom is satisfied. Same way in this case. Here valency of this carbon is 5. So I will remove one bond and I will put that bond this side. Same way towards right hand side. Just before methylene group we have double bond. I will remove one bond and I will put that bond towards the other side. Now see valency of any carbon atom. It is 4. So tetravalency of carbon atom is not damaged. Now this is called vulcanized rubber. This structure is called vulcanized rubber. Right. Now let us see what is meant by vulcanization. Vulcanization is a chemical reaction wherein the raw rubber, this is nothing but the raw rubber, is treated with sulfur in presence of a suitable additive at a temperature equal to 343 Kelvin or 415 or any temperature in between this. As a result, these three reactants undergo a reaction thereby to yield a new product that is called vulcanized rubber. And this is structure of vulcanized rubber. And these bonds are called cross links. Because of these cross links, when this vulcanized rubber is heated, these structures which are there in the form of chain, they cannot slide one over each other. Therefore, at high temperature, this vulcanized rubber cannot become soft like natural rubber. Number 2, at low temperature, even when this vulcanized rubber is used in making of, say, tires, vehicle tires, at low temperature, this substance cannot become brittle, means cannot become pieces because of these cross links. Like in natural rubber, what we observe. Next, third property. This vulcanized rubber cannot absorb water like natural rubber. So these are the 3 plus points of vulcanized rubber over natural rubber. So vulcanization is nothing but a phenomenon wherein raw rubber is heated with sulfur in presence of a suitable additive. As a result, we will get a rubber which doesn't have the physical properties like that of natural rubber. This phenomenon is called vulcanization. Next, as far as the importance or use of this rubber is concerned, it is used in making of vehicle tires. So when vehicle tires are required to be made, this vulcanized rubber is used. In such case, sulfur amount should be 50%. Means for every 100 grams of vulcanized rubber, if we want to make 100 grams of vulcanized rubber, imagine, we have to add 50 grams of sulfur. That way it is. That's about chemistry of vulcanized rubber. Next is synthetic rubber. Now let us see what is meant by synthetic rubber. Synthetic rubber means human-made rubber or rubber made in the laboratory or industry. that is called synthetic rubber. And in this synthetic rubber, two types of polymers are added, and those two types of polymers are: number one, neoprene, and number two, bunion. Now let us see about each synthetic rubber, that is neoprene and bunion. First, preparation of neoprene. First let us see chemistry of neoprene in the preparation of neoprene. In this preparation, how is neoprene made? Let us see. The monomer or the micromolecule that is used in neoprene is chloroprene. Means we will take 1,3-butadiene this way, and to second carbon atom we will add Cl, and let us see the valency: 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. This is 2-chloro 1,3-butadiene. Two-chloro 1,3-butadiene. This is the micromolecule that is used. When this is subjected to polymerization, means repeated chemical combination, then it gives rise to CH2, CCl, CH, CH2, n times. Now let us see tetravalence: 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Means one more bond is required, so I put here 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's all. This is polychlorobutadiene. And it is nothing but neoprene. Right? And property. As far as property of neoprene is concerned, it will not melt. At high temperature, or we can say at cooking temperature. Right. So this is the important property of neoprene. Using this property, neoprene is used in making of gaskets. Gaskets means a ring-like black-colored substance that is used in the lid of the cooker. Even in mixes also, these gaskets are used, and these gaskets are made with the help of what is called neoprene. So monomer of neoprene is chloroprene or 2-chloro-1,3-butadiene, and this is the polymer. Next, synthetic polymer is, synthetic rubber or synthetic polymer is bunion. Now let us see chemistry of bunion. First let us see how is it prepared. What are the materials required for this? Materials required for this are: number one, 1,3-butadiene, butadiene, These we are taking in n number of times, means these are monomers. And next monomer is acrylonitrile. And this should also be taken n number of times. So this is vinyl cyanide, common name, or its other name is acrylonitrile. When these two undergo repeated combination, that is polymerization, we can say. Then we will get the polymer whose structure is like this: CH2, CH, CH, CH2. We will see valence a little later. Now, this structure we have to connect. How to connect? Let us see. Now, what I am going to do is, this pi bond I will remove and I will keep towards left hand side. It will become like this. Next, CH as it is, and Cn here. Now, see tetravalency of this carbon, 1, 2, 3. So one more is left out, so we will put one bond and we will put and the square bracket round parenthesis and then small n towards right hand side, and here also. Now let us see tetravalency of carbon, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 means one more is required, so we will put 1 pi bond. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, valency is satisfied. Now name of this polymer is butadiene acrylonitrile, or we can write BUNA N, butadiene acrylonitrile polymer, or BUNA N. This is popular with this name. The other name is butadiene acrylonitrile polymer or BUNA N. This N indicates this nitrogen atom. Now, let us see its property. BUNA N has very good resistance towards chemical substances, means it cannot react immediately. So it has good resistance towards reagents, means chemicals. Chemicals cannot attack easily. That is why it is used in tank lining. Means if any substance, liquid substance is required to be stored in a tank in large quantity, that liquid substance, chemical substance, can react with inner wall of that tank. To prohibit that, this BUNA N is used as inner lining of that tank. That's about chemistry of the second synthetic rubber, that is BUNA N. Monomers required are 1,3-butadiene and then acrylonitrile. Other name of acrylonitrile is vinyl cyanide. As a result, we will get the polymer, that is butadiene acrylonitrile polymer or BUNA N. And in this, we have used two types of monomers, two different types of monomer, but we have got only one type of polymer. That is why this is said to be addition polymer, that too copolymer. That's about the chemistry of synthetic polymer. Next, molecular masses of today's next topic. Molecular masses of polymers. Mass of any polymer depends on the type of monomers and the number of monomers and the mass of monomers involved in polymerization reaction. Imagine in any polymerization reaction, if the monomers of high molecular masses are involved, naturally the polymer formed will also have a good mass. Means monomers mass decide polymer mass. So in short we can say mass of polymer is directly proportionate to the mass of the monomers. This is very small topic that is included in your syllabus. After this, let us see the important topic, that is biodegradable polymers. First let us see what is meant by non-biodegradable polymers. Those polymers which cannot undergo oxidation reaction, or those polymers which cannot be decayed by bacteria or which cannot be oxidized by bacteria, are called non-degradable polymers. Means they cannot be decayed or destroyed. So in the environment they exist in the form of waste solid substances. Right? So such substances act as pollutants. They are not environmental friendly. Therefore, aliphatic biodegradable polymers are designed to overcome such pollution because of non-biodegradable polymers. In this case, that is in the case of biodegradable polymers. Biodegradable polymers means those polymers which can be decayed or oxidized or destroyed by the bacteria. Once these polymers become unfit for our use. In your syllabus, 2 biodegradable polymers are included. Now let us see chemistry of those 2 biodegradable polymers. First biodegradable polymer is this is slightly a lengthy name. You have to remember this. If you remember this, you can write the monomers names. Poly beta hydroxy butyrate. Once again, poly beta hydroxy butyrate co beta, where I am putting hyphen marks, they are very important. Co beta hydroxy poly beta hydroxy butyrate co beta hydroxy valerate. This can be abbreviated by PHBV. This is the name of that polymer, and this is aliphatic in nature, means there is no ring structure. Right? No ring monomer is involved in this reaction. Now let us see preparation of this polymer. In this we have 2 types of monomers. They are, first one, 3-hydroxy butyrate. But means 4 carbon atoms, so I will show first 4 carbon atoms. See, poly beta hydroxy butyrate. If you take hydroxy butyrate, this represents one monomer. Hydroxy valerate represents other monomer. So hydroxy butyrate refers to hydroxy butanoic acid. Right. So 4 carbon atoms. This is first carbon atom, second, third, fourth. Now and add hydrogen atoms keeping valency of carbon in the mind. That's all. This is 3-hydroxy butyrate n number of times. Next, second monomer is, now look at the second part of this polymer, that is hydroxyvaleric. So second monomer should be 3-hydroxyvaleric. Here one thing you need to remember, pentanoic acid, valeric acid, both means same. So you can write here valeric acid 3-hydroxy or 3-hydroxy pentanoic acid. Pentanoic means 5 carbon atoms. Always first carbon atom should be carboxylic acid. And if we give number, this will be first carbon, second, third, fourth, fifth. To third carbon atom, I will add OH group. And keeping valence in the mind, I will go on adding hydrogen atoms this way. That's all. In this way, we got 2 monomers. I told you the tricks how to recall and remember the monomers names. The polymer itself is informative. It gives the information of the monomers. Hydroxybutyrate, first part. So first monomer should be 3-hydroxybutanoic acid. 3-hydroxybutanoic acid. And second part of this polymer is hydroxyvaleric. So the second monomer should be 3-hydroxy pentanoic acid. Right. Now we have to combine these two. In order to combine these two, what I am going to do is, this hydrogen I will combine with this OH and I will remove in the form of water molecule. Same way, this hydrogen I will combine with this OH. Now let us see the rest of the structures. Before going to show the entire polymeric structure, what I am going to do is, from the first monomer, imagine I am holding this methyl group and I am pulling it down. Means this methyl group exactly will come below this carbon. And this oxygen will come in place of methyl group. Means it will be like this. CH is oxygen. And below that CH, CH3 group. And the rest of the part we are going to show as it is, CO. Next. Here. Imagine this ethyl group is lying. Right? I am holding. And I am pulling it exactly below this carbon. So this ethyl group will come below this carbon and this oxygen atom will take the place of ethyl group. In that way we have to show. Then it becomes oxygen, via oxygen it gets connected, second monomer, and then CH, below that CH, this ethyl group in the form of C2H5, otherwise CH2, CH3. Right, after CH, CH2 and then CO. Right. Now, I am closing and then putting small n letter towards right hand side as a subscript. Now this is called PHBV polymer plus n number of water molecules are removed. Now in the case of this polymer, that is PHBV, that is poly beta hydroxybutyrate co beta hydroxyvalerate. So formed polymer has water as byproduct. Right, just like the formation of nylon 6,6 where we observed this. Now, uses. As far as uses are concerned, number one, it is used in packing the materials. So, it is used in packing materials. Number two, it is used in orthopedic devices. Orthopedic devices means those devices which are used in deformities of skeleton, means bones. So first one is it is used as an important packing material. Number two, it is used in making of orthopedic devices. That's about the first biodegradable polymer, that is polyhydroxybutyrate co-beta hydroxyvalerate. Now the second biodegradable polymer, that is nylon to nylon 6. Now let us see its preparation. The name itself indicates first monomer has 2 carbon atoms and second monomer has 6 carbon atoms. Now let us see those monomers one by one. First monomer is this CH2 COOH NH2. Instead of writing directly NH2, I am writing NHH. This should be n number of times, right? And its name is glycine. Glycine is one type of monomers involved in making of nylon 2 and nylon 6. Next, second type of monomer is aminocaproic acid. It is like this: NH2 CH2 5 times COOH. Right. These are the two different types of monomers. When these two undergo polymerization, see, earlier I told nylon 2. This 2 indicates presence of 2 carbon atoms in first monomer. See, there are 2 carbon atoms in this case, 1 and 2. Next, nylon 6. This 6 indicates presence of 6 carbon atoms. Here 5 carbon atoms and here 1. Altogether 6 carbon atoms. Name of this monomer, second type of monomer, is aminocaproic acid. Now how combinations are going to take place, let us see. From this first monomer OH and from second monomer hydrogen will combine, right? Same way, from first monomer n number of hydrogen atoms removed, from second monomer n number of OH groups are removed, again they will combine. As a result, n number of water molecules are removed. They are nothing but the simple byproduct. Now the main product. When these hydrogen and OH groups are removed, whatever are left out, if we join, we will get the product, that is nylon 2, nylon 6. It is like this. That's it. This refers to the structure of nylon 2, nylon 6. These structures, children, you have to practice. Go through all the structures and without seeing, just to go on, practice without damaging the valency of the carbon atom. That's about preparation of nylon 2 and nylon 6. That's about biodegradable polymers. Next, today's last topic, that is commercially important polymers. Means these polymers are very important in the market. Commercially important polymers. Now let us see what are the important commercial polymers. First one is polypropylene or polypropene. How is it made? Let us see. Propene, n number of molecules will take. This is nothing but propene, n number. When they undergo polymerization, you will get polypropene. Preparation is not given in your syllabus. Directly the structure and its importance is given. Right. So formed product is called polypropene or polypropylene. Polypropene or polypropylene. It's used in making of toys and then pipes. Right. Next, PVC, polyvinyl chloride, is popularly known as PVC. Right. Its preparation already was explained. Now its use, let us see. It is used in making of water pipes. Next, polystyrene. Polystyrene. Its monomer is styrene and it is prepared like this. N number of these styrene molecules will take and will subject it to polymerization. Here also polymerization. As a result, we will get polystyrene and it should be shown like this, CH2. That's all. This is called polystyrene. And let us see its uses. This polystyrene is used in making of cabinet of radio, television, etc. That is about chemistry of polystyrene. Next polymer is urea formaldehyde. Urea formaldehyde. So first monomer is urea. Its formula is NH2CONH2. Right. This is urea. And formaldehyde is CH2O. Right. Both should be n number of times. This is formaldehyde. From this, 2 hydrogen atoms are removed, and from second monomer, 1 oxygen atom. In that way, 1 water molecule. But when we take n number of both the monomers, we will get n number of water molecules. The rest of the things, if you add, you will get the required product, that is urea formaldehyde. And this urea formaldehyde is used in making of laminated sheets. In making of laminated sheets. Next is bakelite. Its structure, let us say, directly I am showing its structure. Already it was taught. Bakelite, 2 benzene rings, top OH group, in between 1 methylene group, on one side methylene group. connecting this. This is bakelite. It is infusible mass, and as far as its uses are concerned, it is used in making of good quality combs. Number 2, electrical switches, and is also used in making of handles of utensils. Example, cooker handle. So these are the uses of bakelite. That's about the commercially important polymers. Children, go through this chapter completely. This is the last topic of this chapter. So go through this chapter completely, and without seeing, you go on, write the structures of polymers and their uses. If you practice, then only you can write. Otherwise, you can draw even a simple structure. Hope you might have noted down the important points of today's topic. And today or tomorrow, children, the assignment connected to these topics will be uploaded in ERP. So once they are uploaded, you write the solutions and send them back as soon as possible. Thank you, children.